are in Portland, and as you can see, it's snowing out here, which it doesn't normally do for those of you not familiar with Portland. So everyone here is pretty sure that it's the apocalypse. This is very reminiscent of last year when it snowed one day and everybody thought it was the apocalypse, which we don't want to confuse with the year before that when it snowed for one day and everyone thought it was the apocalypse. We're not gonna die, it's okay. Just think of it as rain, but on the ground.
That's not gonna sell tickets. Guys, it's the apocalypse out here. Like and subscribe, share this video. This is killer snow. Killer snow, it's worse than regular snow. This is derailed 6 tons. This actually it's just carrying dead bodies at this point. As you can see here, getting the hell out of town. They've got everything they own in those suitcases. People here don't have much. That's all they own. They're getting the hell out of town because it's the fucking apocalypse, guys. Freak out. You guys want to know what's in store for you? Well, we're going to be eating some chips that look like Pringles, but they're made out of rice. I'm going to put this in my mouth, some tamarind. We have a bunch of hardware news coming up. Hey, I got some inbox questions. One's about Linux. And then we've got some gaming things. And I'm going to get naked and jump into a pile of snow somewhere in the middle of the video. So you have to watch the whole thing. And we're going to give away a free mustache after I grow one. If I grow one, it's a little asterisk down at the bottom. I don't know what's wrong with me.
This is all about my root muscle. So good. Put under the box right here for people to live and put for like a red bug. One with gloves, one with and one for something else too. It'll help them. That's why I gotta buy a heat for it.
All right, not only are we going to be eating things on camera, very unprofessional, we're also going to keep things vapid, and we're going to talk about meta stuff. PewDiePie, hey baby, PewDiePie, however the fuck he says it, threatening to delete his YouTube channel because he thinks that YouTube has changed the algorithm. All right, we're going to tell you guys exactly how this YouTube algorithm works. Now, Google purchased YouTube back in 2006, and back at that point in time, your subscription feed is what greeted you when you hopped onto the website. But now let's take a look at what greets you when you go onto the website. What is this abomination? Cars and aircraft. I don't give a shit about cars. You know, whatever his name is there, Leif Erikson or Jeremy, what's the guy's name? Jeremy Idles? Jeremy Clarkson, yeah. Dude's funny as hell. I don't give a shit about cars. Why is this on my feed? So in order to get my subscriptions, you have to go over here and click on this. 4 people have clicked that in the last month. That's it. So, yeah, I don't even know who subscribed to all these things. This is the crit account. It's a mess right now. And let me tell you the reason. The big YouTubers who have loyal followers, they don't make YouTube as much money because everybody there uses AdBlock. The regulars all use AdBlock. They don't want to see these long ads and that sort of thing. So a lot of PewDiePie's crowd show up and they just suck all the bandwidth out of YouTube. And YouTube's like, ugh, he's our biggest. You know, but a lot of these guys who have lots of subscribers, like over 100,000, they're sucking up a lot of bandwidth and their users are all using AdBlock. And then they're doing these terrible little endorsements and they're doing like integrations and that sort of thing. And what happens with the integrations is YouTube doesn't get paid. So YouTube went back and they were like, we need to make money on those damned integrations. So from now on, putting a logo at the beginning of the video, this was like last year, they were like, we don't like that, it's not allowed. So people still got around it. They started doing integrations in other ways. And it's just something that YouTube can't police, and YouTube is not able to make money on this, or Google is not able to make money on this. Google's still operating at a loss, but they had an idea. They were like, you know what? If we fill the main page of YouTube with a bunch of slop, and we pay people to put that slop on there, we're talking about like Vivo, Britney, what's her name? Beyonce, a big, you know, like stuff like that the big companies want to push down your throat, like stuff you hear on the radio, but no one listens to that anymore. They thought, well, why don't we pay YouTube? So YouTube is able to use that to make money. And they also put people on there maybe who don't attract people that have ad block. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a cash grab. Maybe they're like, listen, we can't take care of our big uploaders, and we know that, you know, them having a gazillion people is bringing people to the site, but we don't need more people on YouTube. Already like a fourth of the internet or a third of the internet visits YouTube like every freaking week. We don't need more people on YouTube. We need more money on YouTube.
We need money.
The bottom line is YouTube ain't making money. Right now, the recommended videos thing. PewDiePie says he used to be making about 30% of his hits, or getting about 30% of his hits from that. It's kind of interesting because a lot of other YouTubers are saying the same thing. We're getting about 30% of our hits from that. Now we're getting about 1 to 2%, just like him. This is not even necessary anymore because this is all real, guys. Anyway, YouTube released a reply. They were prompted to release a reply, and the reply was much like something you'd hear in British Parliament. What? Nothing. Nothing's happening. No. What? Who did what with whom? No. Of course not. So YouTube is really being the British Parliament here and just saying nothing's wrong, nothing has changed, the algorithms are all the same. Everybody's crazy. If you wake up tomorrow morning and you're unsubscribed to some of your favorite channels, you're crazy. It didn't happen. YouTube didn't do it. You must have done it in your sleep, you idiot. So while we're on this topic, if you guys are enjoying things, go ahead and click on the subscribe button. There's a little bell beside that, so you'll get notified because you don't see it in your damn feed because your feed doesn't show up anywhere. Hit the bell notification icon, or better yet, Crit TV. We post everything there. Or if you want to go a step farther and you want to follow a whole bunch of different technology YouTubers, head over to techsyndicate.com. It's now a syndication of all your favorite YouTubers. And if you want someone to be added to that I'm maybe not aware of or haven't met or whatever, send me an email over at, inbox@Crit TV. So there's that. All right, moving right along here. Let's get down to some of the hardware news. Windows. We mentioned this like on the last show. This is going to be a quick thing. But yeah, they're coming back to ARM, and they are doing so with that x86 compatibility that we talked about. They're going to be doing hardware emulation. The next Snapdragon is going to be rolling that out. But here's the weird thing. You're going to be able to run all your x86 programs, but it's not going to work with the 64-bit stuff. Not yet, anyway. So right now, it's just going to be 32-bit applications. Okay, that's just what we wanted, 32-bit, but whatever. It's going to work with 32-bit for now, maybe, 64-bit in the future. But here's the interesting thing here. With these new devices, they're going to be introducing some new things because it's an ARM processor. They're pretty low power, and you can do a few things with them. They're getting more and more powerful, but they don't draw a lot of power. So Windows is going to start experimenting with some of the always-on technologies, like the stuff that you would use with your phone. And I would expect them to, maybe get a little more invasive. But as of yet, they've been decent stewards of our data. You just have to keep an eye on them, but know that you're going to be giving up a lot of your data. The telemetry's already like up your ass quite a far ways. Where scientifically, where are they? No, let's not go there. We got food to eat later. But also another thing that they're going to be focusing on, and they possibly are going to be using this with some of the new technology. They're really getting into not so much VR, but augmented reality, and they're going to have a bunch of different devices that are going to be coming out that you can use in augmented reality, and they're going to have new versions of possibly some of their operating systems, some versions of their operating system, possibly a new version of Microsoft Edge that's going to work with this augmented reality sort of a 3D world. But what augmented reality is and how it differs from virtual reality is that augmented reality is just reality. Like, you can still see your damn cup of coffee, your beer, whatever, you can take a sip of it, but it'll superimpose things. Maybe it'll impose something beside the coffee saying like, this coffee's almost empty. But click here to order more. I don't know. Just throwing out ideas there. But they're going into augmented reality, and they're saying 2017 is going to be a big year for that. If you guys want to read further into this, there's another article here. I'm going to kind of skip past it. But Microsoft is also unveiling the Home Hub, which will tie into all this sort of thing. And it'll be kind of like an Amazon Echo or whatever. But it's, God, everyone's going sort of in this direction. And we could probably make an entire documentary series about, well, the way things are going to change when everything becomes connected and everything is just there to be your personal assistant, but also the security flaws and, the dangers of just having everything on all the time. All right, moving right along. Oh, interesting. Sort of A12-9800 running at 4.898 megahertz. Interesting. Here's another bit of interesting stuff to chew on. So says Hardo Suppi's Kyle Bennett. AMD has already signed a deal with Intel to license their graphics technology, mainly for their APUs and that sort of thing, to Intel. What on earth is going on here? AMD working with Intel? When you stand back and look at this kind of makes sense because, AMD used to have a big piece of the marketplace several years ago. They had pretty good graphics cards that could compete very well with the NVIDIA stuff. But let's look at the numbers here, guys. The company has really, really taken a fall, and they're not making money like they used to be. So for them, working with Intel, who's always had pretty bad, their latest, integrated GPUs were okay, but they've always been really, really bad. AMD's always been ahead of them in that game. Let's imagine that they work together with Intel and they create, the graphics for their next, integrated graphics for their next CPU. That might actually make them more money than they could make selling their own stuff. It's sad, but them working together with Intel might be the best idea for them as far as that goes. It's strange that you have to get in bed with the competition in order to improve your bottom line. But you know what? They're already making some money from the consoles. The Nintendo Switch is going to be, I believe, Tegra-based. Is that right? NVIDIA-based? Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't paid attention to the consoles that much, but they're making revenue from that, and that's really keeping them alive right now. But they're going to have to start thinking about the future, and if the future means doing something like that, who knows? And who knows what else could come out of a partnership with these two. Intel's not without competition. Qualcomm, they've released a 48-core. They're about to unleash a 48-core 10 nanometer. Which is a ridiculously nice 10 nanometer part. It's made for servers, so it's not going to be quite as efficient per core, but 48 cores, and it's going to be super low power, and also, 10 nanometer, that's a step ahead of Intel right now. So if this becomes sort of the new thing, and if we start seeing data centers go to ridiculous numbers of cores using ARM processors, that could be rough news for Intel. All right, super heavy elements. That should be the name of our rap group. I don't want to be the Tennessee one. So the 7th row on the periodic table has been filled up, and these have been submitted over the last few years, but they've created some very volatile elements that break down into other things very quickly. And I guess you guys can see here on the screen the different names for them. One of them, of course, is named after Moscow. One's named after Japan, Nihon. Then one's named after Tennessee. But it's interesting to see the bottom row filled out. It's a new world out there. If you were radioactive, how radioactive would you be? I'll melt your butter from across the room, and I'll melt your brother from right next to me. This is dumb. All right, now we're going to eat some stuff from China. We haven't even been to China yet, but I've already bringing back treats. Let's try some of these things real quick, and then we'll talk about, while we do that, we can talk about robots possibly killing us, maybe.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
Sure.
Or not killing us.
Well, so what they were saying is that, according to this article, that the next generation of robots that we design probably won't kill us.
Right.
There's been a study that's supposed to be monitoring AI progression over the next 100 years, and it's been saying that no, it's called AI 100 Project, really creative, but they're like no, AI won't be fine-tuned enough in the next 13 years, we'll say.
But I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
So AI won't come anywhere. These are not Pringle-shaped. They look like little cheese turds.
What the fuck is this? Okay, these are rice, made out of rice.
No.
All right, so what are we eating right now real quick with jasmine rice?
Could spell the end of the human race.
Next.
So we're eating Ryo.
It tastes like Cheese Whiz in puff form. Now, if you guys think that this content is vapid, let me tell you something. Some people care about numbers and statistics and science, but what if right now somebody just looked at the screen and woke up and decided to get the fucking Doritos out of their fat rolls and go to the store and buy this, and it changed their life? What if this stopped someone from killing themselves because they realized that this is the meaning for living?
This tastes like disgusting personified into a cheese puff form.
All right, we'll chase this with some tamarind, chunks of tamarind. And tamarind is
Delicious. Really delicious.
it's something, it's kind of a sour flavor. These are sweet and sour tamarind, so they're tamarind covered in sugar.
So robots aren't going to kill us, but these might.
Once humans develop artificial intelligence, it would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate.
Tamarind with chili. What sound does this make? Be careful those seeds in the middle.
Oh, fuck. We gotta go. Swallow it. Wow, that's just delicious.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no. God damn it. It went all the way over there underneath the printer.
This has proven to be an interesting show.
Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded.
So anyways, the premium PC market has grown 78%. According to the Super Data, premium PC experience has the greatest growth of any segment in October. So in October, we grew by 78% to $592 million in revenue. And they're saying that they're attributing a lot of this to Civilization 6 coming out, saying like, well, that's why everyone's playing games on PC right now.
I mean, I figured this article right now, yeah, we had a big game release. That's basically what it tells me. We had a big game release on PC, and it tells me that people play the PC, which I already knew. So I feel like it's a piece of almost non-content, Zoe, but it is Interesting.
Well, the mobile gaming part of it is a little bit more interesting.
So let's talk about that, yeah.
Because they're talking about how basically different companies have discovered the importance of cross-promotion between their product and having an app that corresponds with it. So, like, every Disney movie that comes out, there's, the Candy Crush but Frozen app that corresponds with it. That way, long after the movie's out of theater, or long after it's come out to DVD and things like that, people are still actively aware of the product, they're still thinking about it all the time, and it's still getting updated all the time, so that way, they're still basically advertising for it months, even years after it's come out. And so they're starting to realize how integral having apps and fun little doofy games and stuff like that can actually like increase their revenues up like tons and tons and tons. Now like food companies are getting involved in it. They were saying like Oreos just put out a game recently.
Yeah, with a twist, lick, and dunk, which are...
Sounds like a great Friday night.
Yeah. Get out the twist, lick, and dunk dice.
Yep.
I always get twist.
So, but then, like, they were saying, like, Sour Patch Kids making a, like, tower defense style game and stuff like that. So basically, it's just being, like...
This is like the Saturday morning cartoon thing, but now it's an app.
It's toyetic.
Let's just shove this shit down people's throats, literally.
So look forward to the Rio, How Disgusting Can We Make It app game.
They're like the little cheese slugs. That's what they look like.
Why do you keep eating them?
I'm just going to show one for... I can't get it. It's a cheese slug. So mobile games are the biggest platform, and they're used a lot of times for marketing. There are some interesting mobile games out there. PC games is like the serious daddy of gaming, but a lot of people forget that no, the serious daddy of gaming is tabletop. That's
the real daddy.
Yeah, you guys want to...
Well, and there's like this whole thing where they're like, oh, PC gamers are like real misers and sticklers and stuff like that, and they never want to pay for anything. They're always waiting for sales. Like you'll never see a PC gamer full price. But this has kind of showed that no, actually they will pay full price for things, and PC gamers are going to spend the most amount of money on stuff.
It all depends on the game that comes out. If Half-Life comes out and it's $80, Half-Life 3 comes out, $80, everyone's going to throw $80 at their screen.
No problem.
Just throw $80.
Shut up and take my money.
If some indie game that no one's ever heard of comes out and it's only like 5 different levels, it's going to be like $5-6. And then after a game's been around for a year, maybe it'll be on sale for 80% off or something like Saints Row 4 or whatever. You got it for like $4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, sales are great, and it's nice to have everything on the PC platform. I mean, you have the downloads and everything on console now, but just you click a button, you download it. There's no paper waste. There's no box you have to go pick up. There's no overhead for the software developers other than paying their people. So, all right, next up, I have no idea what this is.
Yes, so Nintendo is actually offering bounties for finding exploits in their 3DS systems. Over the years, there have been so many different ways to like mod and change and data mine and do all kinds of different stuff to the 3DS itself, as well as to like games for it. There was a whole thing when Pokemon came out recently, and everyone data mined that and released everything well before they wanted to release stuff. So basically, Nintendo wants you to do their dirty work for them, but they are going to pay you to do it because I guess they are tired of banning people. You can earn anywhere between $100 and $20,000.
You know what I think Nintendo will do? They'll probably be like, "Thank you very much," and then put people in jail. The way they treat a lot of their community members who upload their content onto like a gameplay video or something like that of Mario Kart, if that's uploaded onto YouTube, that's just the way they are. They seem very against internet culture. They seem very against PC gaming.
Here's your $20,000 handcuffs.
Yeah. While we're on this rant, you know what else seems very weird to me about Nintendo? I find that there's a lot of people out there who are very much like PC Master Race. Oh, Nintendo's awesome. You know what I mean? They're those two are cool, but then like PlayStation, Xbox, they try to do every now and then. They try to do something. They try to make something cross-platform, or they've tried to do a few things with the PC. They're still consoles and that sort of thing, but they've actually done things that work with PC. But whereas Nintendo, they are just 100% against everything PC. They're all Nintendo all the time. They are very like bad to the community when it comes to like YouTube and all that stuff. But PC gamers are like, yay, Nintendo. Well, what the hell's up with that? They just can't stop playing their damn games, Zelda and stuff.
I guess. I mean, a lot of the games have proven to be like a lot of their series are solid games that you can't get on any other platform, that whole platform exclusivity thing. So, like, if you're looking to play a Zelda game, or if you're looking to play a Metroid game, or if you're looking to play Pokemon, like me, then that's, Nintendo's your only option to go for that. So, basically what they're doing is they're making games that they know everybody likes, and then saying you can only do it through here. So you have to like us if you
Yeah.
want to be able to play this particular system.
Yeah, I've been playing them on PC, but I do go out and buy the box copies of the games. So, to make myself feel better at night. I don't know. They're right over there.
Oh yeah, I guess there's Zelda right there. Hi Zelda.
Oh.
Hi.
They came with the Wii that I bought because I wanted the Wii remotes. I've never actually plugged in the Wii.
Yep.
They had the advanced
Get
remotes.
your nunchuck on it too.
Well, yeah, I had to get the whole thing and I use it on the PC. Yeah. Works just fine.
Cool.
All right, you know, if you're someone who is pretty into retro gaming, this new thing just came out called the Retro Engine Sigma, and it looks like they're taking, I don't know, an Orange Pi, a Raspberry Pi, or something like it, a very small ARM-based computer.
It looks kind of like what we were talking about the other week.
Yeah.
With like building your own thing with the Raspberry Pi. It looks like they kind of just went ahead and did that.
Yeah, I think I know what board they're using, and they're pretty easy to come by. They're like $30-40 a board. You can probably get them in bulk for cheaper than that. But they put together a decent little system here. It looks to be about as powerful as a Raspberry Pi or something. And then they've got their own custom Linux operating system with tons of emulators on it.
It looks like the bastard child of a PlayStation 1 and a Sega Genesis.
But they're doing really well with their, not Kickstarter, their Indiegogo campaign. They are selling these things like crazy. People are going insane about these indie games. Guys, you can do this yourself at home.
What does that come with though for $59?
You get a 16 gigabyte starter kit, an analog controller, so,
okay.
It's not bad.
I'm cheap.
I'd rather do it myself, but it's not bad. Okay, this is something for another episode.
Do you want to live forever?
I'll talk about Kurzweil later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
All right. And see if
we're going to film this and see what Hutch thinks about these
we're
things.
going to go on about how amazing these things are. We all like tech. Why not get a .tech domain? If you go over to get.tech, you can use coupon code CRIT1 to get 1 year for $3.99, and use coupon code CRIT10 to get 10 years for only $49.99. They've sold 200,000 so far, so run over and grab your .tech domain right now. All right, it's time to do the inbox. Got a couple questions here. Serious or stupid first? They're all serious questions.
Do the serious one first.
From Zachary. Says, hey Logan, long-time viewer here. I'm glad to see how the channel and the split have progressed. My question is, do you still use Linux to this day? You talked about how you tried Ubuntu 14.04, something like that, but you didn't keep up your Logan's Linux log. I was curious if you still use Linux, if you're going to show us your Linux workflow. And if you don't use Linux anymore, why did you decide to go back to the Windblow microshaft? Hope all is well. I look forward to the continued fantastic content. All right, so I have a strange relationship with Linux right now. I put the newest version of Mint exclusively on my laptop at home, and I've been using that. I've had some weird issues with the drivers. It's got an NVIDIA GPU in there. It was getting extreme screen tearing. I was able to fix that, but now it only works with one monitor. So Linux turns into a project sometimes. It depends on your hardware. With my desktop, it ran really, really, really well. Still got Ubuntu on there, but I'm using Windows mostly because Adobe Premiere. Kdenlive is nice. It just can't keep up with the 4K files for some reason. I'm not sure what the deal was. It just stuttered a lot. And here's the thing, guys. If I had a ridiculous amount of time and I could sit down and invest, uber amounts of time, I would sit down and I would just install Linux and I would use it and I would learn all the ways to do everything. But Linux requires finagling still to do a lot of the things that I would normally just do with Windows. And I don't have time. It's kind of a sad thing. People are like, dude, get down and do it. It's a matter of principle. I still love doing my gaming on Linux. But when it comes to getting stuff done, especially editing these videos, it's going to be way faster to do it with Adobe Premiere. The second Adobe releases something for Linux, then it'll be time to sit back and go like, interesting. And then Adobe's got the chicken and the egg problem. Like, well, no one uses Linux. And it was like, well, we all would use Linux if you just released your stuff, you idiot. So it's that sort of a back and forth. There's also some guys working on getting, OS 10 binaries to work on Linux. And when that works, it'll be, way better than wine. So I'll be using it more and more for gaming because I do think it's a much better experience for gaming. But productivity, I'm still running Windows. I may end up doing hardware pass-through with my next build, just using Linux and then hopping into Windows, using hardware pass-through and doing my editing that way, and then back into Linux when I'm done. So who knows? Anyway, next question. Logan, I am Phil Albright. All right then. I have some questions concerning my upcoming manifesto. Should I write my manifesto in all caps? Will that get the point across? Should I consistently misspell certain words intentionally? I think that this might become very useful later on, so that I might elude suspicion later on by underhandedly revealing that I do in fact spell certain words correctly. I am Phil Albright. I am not anyone else. Phil Albright. Hi, Phil Albright. His email address here is just a random string of characters. I don't know if you really are Phil Albright, number one, because here's the deal. You said later on, and then about 7 or 8 words later, you said later on again. I know Phil Albright. Phil Albright only says later on once in any sentence. So I don't think you're Phil Albright, sir. I'll answer the questions as if you were anyway. So you want to know if you should do all caps and then misspell words. What's your manifesto? Is your manifesto the internet? The manifesto? Because that's what you're sounding like you're writing. The internet commenting system? The manifesto? Is that what it is? So should you misspell words? I think you should spell words correctly first and then misspell them later so that they can doubt who's actually writing this. And they can think maybe there's a ghostwriter involved. And then you can create some suspicion around things. Okay, Phil Albright. I know Phil Albright. He wouldn't do this sort of thing. All right, guys, that's the end of the show. There's stuff over here. Click on the new shirts. Do we have any new shirts? I'm not wearing a new shirt. You're wearing a new shirt. Anyway, yeah. I got to go back home right now. I hope I get home and not die. That'd be interesting. There's coming in today was a bit wild because I don't have snow tires, and there was snow all over the highway. So, came in to do the crit show. It's important. Now it's time to go edit the crit show. That's important. It's time for you to subscribe to the crit show. That's important. It's time for you to head over to the Discord. That's important. Get over on Crit TV. That is important. Go to techsyndicate.com. That is important. Go to the website. Go to the store. This is the end. I kind of fizzled there at the end. Sorry.
I don't like apples anymore. I'm subbed. This show made me hate apples. I'm subbed. Did you get a memory card yet?
This one, it's already recording.
Oh, it's already recording?
It's been recording for a while.
You didn't tell me it was on yet. It could have been way more entertaining than this.